Would you believe us if we told you that the Disney proxy battle, which was essentially a fight for the control of the Disney board last year, well, it was the impetus for Elon Musk meeting Donald Trump and then joining together their forces united, taking the nation by storm. Whether you like Orange Man bad, whether you think he's Orange Man good, folks, we've got the unbelievable story of how Disney inspired Elon to join up with the Donald. Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Pro Channel. We love diving deep into the information that you simply will not hear anywhere else, giving you analysis like you have never seen before, because we understand Hollyweird in a way that they don't even understand themselves. Today, as we get started, we only ask a simple thing of you, and that is, please, if you prefer, click the like button. And folks, without further ado, let's find out how a duel with Disney resulted in an unlikely pairing that is, well, either, depending on your approach, healing or tearing the nation apart. Take a look at the outcome of the proxy battle with Nelson Peltz. This is going to cause Bob to reach for the Tums. Out of Deadline by Jill Goldsmith, it says Nelson Peltz, the guy who was waging the proxy battle against Disney last year, says he played matchmaker for Elon Musk and the Trumpster, blames index funds for losing Disney proxy battle. So it turns out that Elon Musk got together with Orange Man Bad because Nelson Peltz said that Disney made him sad. That's the story. It's all Bob Iger's fault. Look at that picture. You know how much Bob Iger loves waking up in the morning and knowing that in the trades, in Deadline for everybody to read, that he's right there by the Trumpster. Let me tell you, folks, Bob Iger is about as happy about that as George Clooney is to receive a phone call from a Hollywood friend today. That's how much they're loving it. Investor Nelson Peltz believes he played matchmaker for Donald Trump and Elon Musk at a breakfast together in late spring with Peltz's son, Diesel. He says he's friends with the Tesla billionaire who was recently named the president-elect's cost cutter-in-chief, and that he's looking forward to Trump's next term, probably enjoying Doge. I'm very pleased, I'm very optimistic, he said, and the alternative was ridiculous. I was a matchmaker. I don't know that Donald would have had this sweeping victory without Elon's help. Elon was in Pennsylvania. I thought he was going to be Dutch or something, he told CNBC's Delivering Alpha Investor Conference in New York City. Amish, interjected the moderator. Yeah, right. I thought he was going to be Amish. He was there almost full time. He came to New York every now and then to say hello, but other than that, he was there, and I take my hat off to him. I mean, he got the bit in his teeth, and he wanted to work. And if Donald gives him the opportunity, he will cut costs, and that's what we need to do. We need to cut costs. Says you're a businessman, you've got to get your revenue be bigger than your expenses. It's really simple. We don't have that in America. Guys, I won't delay too long on this. I want to go to the panel and just say, who could have ever seen that proxy battle that we covered with Disney for months and months and months, that the outcome was Orange Man Bad again, back at the helm of the United States, and Nelson Peltz taking credit for it. I don't know if he deserves credit for it. I don't know. I'm not there. But I do find this all fascinating that Disney now not only has Elon to thank for the lawsuit they're facing with Gina Carano, but also their arch nemesis back in power. And perhaps this will even change the trajectory of who is the next CEO, because Dana Waldenstar sure has dimmed after the loss by her bestie Harris. Panel, Culture in particular. I want to go to Culture first on this. Culture, did you ever see this happening from the proxy battle? I mean, is this not just, no matter which side of the aisle you might be on, it's an incredible turn of events. Disney is everywhere somehow all the time. We won't tell him he's muted, folks. We'll just let him go.
He's looking for the window.
Pull a Hugh Johnston.
There we go. Okay. I couldn't figure out where I was muted. I'm like, all right, we'll try that again. Did I? Well, first of all, I wouldn't be surprised if this was an instigating event. Obviously, when two brilliant minds get together that are, financial gurus or whatever you want to call them, geniuses, I wouldn't, it wouldn't have surprised me. This may have created an opportunity for them to look forward and talk about where all business was going wrong. I think the position of analyzing the world around us and recognizing that we're spending too much money on things that don't matter. That's something that Elon is specialized in. He's a genius when it comes to removing things that are in the way to, making success faster. He constantly revises the way even the assembly lines work on just his vehicles. He's changed the efficiency of rocketry and the ability to reuse things in short order. So the fact that they got together and probably talked about that, does it surprise me? No. Would it surprise me that wasn't where the opportunity came for the introduction to happen between Trump and Musk? No. I think it's a brilliant thing. I think if that were the event that created this situation, then it's almost a blessing that despite Nelson's efforts, he didn't get the Disney piece that he wanted. I still believe Elon's going to get a giant chunk of Disney sometime in the near future, but that's a little bit more hopeful than it is. I have no insight to suggest that, but it just makes sense. Other than that, I like I said, I mean. I would say that moment in time definitely was pivotal in a lot of different ways. Maybe in this way as well.
Jonas, we've been doing coverage of that on That Park Place. Vash, I'll take you, and then Jonas, if you could bring that coverage up in just a moment. Go ahead, Vash.
It's been an unbelievable story to watch because we noted at the time that Elon and Peltz were definitely getting friendly when definitely Peltz was staging his proxy battle against Disney there. We know that Peltz shares some neighbors, let's say, with Palm Beach, Florida resident Trump, to which I think Peltz has actually hosted campaign events for him before at his home. I think residence in California. I think that's when that occurred in the last election cycle. So we know that that those pieces were on the board right there. For them to actually come together was unbelievably significant. I think that really got going after what happened in Butler, Pennsylvania specifically, and that's when Elon really took charge there and said, okay, well, I'm going to do something about everything that's actually going on and what's actually happening. That's instrumental because obviously he owns the X platform, which was very crucial in getting a lot of information out at critical times right there. But also, too, Elon was instrumental in getting low propensity voters to the polls. That's why the Amish comment was actually mentioned, because I believe Elon staged a number of transportation options for the Amish to actually get to the polls. So, yeah, I mean, very well, if we are lining up the events here, yeah, it all kind of stems from Peltz's perhaps rejection from Disney. Ooh, Bob Iger, he's got to be, whatever he does will have ramifications for the entire world. And it seems that, he's done it again, but maybe not in the way that he thought.
Yeah. So in bringing up this article from Marvin over here from That Park Place, and this is where you could go if you want to get it without spin. Nelson Peltz introduced Elon Musk to Donald Trump over Disney issues. It's a great piece, but there's something here that Marvin brings up that I want to bring up very specifically here, with Trump securing both a decisive electoral college win and becoming the first in here. Okay. Tried and true media organizations like Disney's ABC are losing out to civilian journalists and content creators who spoke the true will of the majority of Americans in this election cycle. I'm believing that statement is talking about, and Marvin, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, the fact that X seemed to call the election a little bit more accurately than organizations like ABC. So we have a situation where Musk is super focused on what he believes the truth is. I happen to be in alignment on that. And he is at odds with Bob Iger. So in this fight with Bob Iger, you have Nelson Peltz, who's fighting with Bob Iger. You have Donald Trump, who's fighting against the media, Bob Iger being a representative of the media, Elon Musk being a representative of social media and what he views as a free speech platform here. So this is a multifaceted cultural conflict here between old media, John, new media, old politics, new politics, old money.
Well, speaking on the new media aspect of it, I just saw somebody out there freaking out over the fact that most new media pundits are right wing. And it's like, look, you may be believing that, but it's because a lot of folks were silenced by the standard media. That's the problem. Right? It has less to do with anybody being left or right and more to do with the truth. And that's what X was all about, was when Elon took over, he took away all the bumpers they had in place that only allowed certain thoughts and things through before this. You couldn't dare question any of these other things, or you would be, ostracized from X. And now they're freaking out because most of these people like us in the new media are quote unquote right wing. It's like, no, we're not right wing. It's that we aren't that idiotic like you guys are, and we're not as biased as you guys are. And we're seeking the truth, right? It doesn't matter what our feelings are. Facts don't care about feelings, as has been pointed out before.
I think that there might actually be two parties within the conservative side at this point. That
You're not
there
wrong.
is a section here where I think the old, less hardcore liberals are probably a different faction that the Republicans can probably hold on. And I don't want to go too deep into politics here. I think there are actually three parties, and two of those parties are currently in alignment against whatever this nut job elitist machine is.
You're not wrong, Jonas. And there may come a time where both parties, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. And there may be a time when those inner parties may not be able to see eye to eye on certain things at some point, and it will happen. But they agree on a lot more than the other side right now, and they're working in tandem, because you have 76% of the country now. It's no longer half, right? We used to say, you're calling half the country an istophobe. It's like, oh no, now it's 76% of the country. So they're going to have a harder time pushing this nonsense.
That's very well said. Alan, I want to ask you a question, and whatever you've got as well, please include. But Alan, if they beat Nelson Peltz and kept him off the board, but he went and buddied up with Elon Musk as a result, and it blocked their bestie, because Kamala Harris is best friends with Dana Walden. If it blocked their bestie from becoming prezi, and now they don't have a CEO, who's the real winner and loser here?
Who's the real winner and loser? Gosh, that's a big question. I'll just go to the point. I'll start with the point I was going to say about in response to Tom, but I don't think new media is conservatism. I think it's more skepticism.
Yes.
I think people are questioning everything and being more open to talk about it.
I think it's libertarian.
And I agree with that. Yeah, I was just saying this was that other person's statement on it.
Right.
And what I was saying is, we're in the seeking of the truth more so than anything. Yeah,
absolutely. And skepticism is all about seeking the truth. In terms of who's the winner, I feel like that there's a game of chess that was being played that no one knew was being played. I don't know that necessarily Elon coming in at the last minute, buddying up with Nelson Peltz prior to the vote, made that much of a difference. I think it said something about what Peltz's intentions were. But in terms of Dana Walden, gosh, I think the election, and I'll speak broadly, I don't know necessarily about Kamala, but I think the results of the election were a kind of an opening of everyone's eyes regarding DEI and equity, and that if something now appears to be an equity decision or a DEI decision, that we are going to look at it with skepticism, and that maybe Dana Walden falls in that category, that we don't know enough about her to really say if she's qualified to be CEO or if this was a diversity pick.
That's very, very well said. Marvin, when it comes to the political angle of this that Alan's bringing up, this sort of chess that was being played outside of the public eye, does this confirm perhaps, or at least lend credence to the idea that all along the battle to keep Nelson Peltz and Jay Rasulo off the board was a game of politics? Because that's where we were leaning with this. It seems like Peltz assesses it that way as well.
Oh, 100%. I mean, and Peltz goes on to say, in the article that he basically says that politics kept him off the board. But it's kind of the epitome of, you lose the battle, but you win the war, because Bob Iger messed with all three of these men, right? ABC News really messed with Trump. You had him trying to blackmail Elon with advertising on X. And then you had, all the issues with him and Peltz. And then all of a sudden the Avengers assemble. And now what we're seeing here, and what we talk about in this article, Pro, is that reports are coming in from sources within the Disney company that says ABC is now trying to bring pro-Trump voices onto shows like The View. So now it seems like in some roundabout way, Nelson Peltz has actually enacted some of the changes that he wanted to make within the Walt Disney Company to bring it more centrist.
Very interesting.
And of course, you can read that article on That Park Place.
And folks, we have come to the end yet again. Another video of excellence in the can. What a joy it has been to share time with you. We hope you enjoyed it as well. If so, consider clicking that like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. And as always, drop a comment down below. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, so waste not yours. Join a community dialogue today, just on down below. Folks, we are going to say farewell for now, but we will see you back for is more, and that's how many videos we put out every single day here on the Pro Channel. Hope you enjoy them all. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.